Welcome everyone. Hi, I am Sunny Basin, a coach and your host for today for this very important session of demystifying career planning, especially for young adults. But I am a young adult, I count myself in that, and I have been on this path of career transitioning. I have been a finance professional, then took up filmmaking for a while, then again joined back corporate, became a CFO, and now I have left it in my own venture as an entrepreneur and a coach. And I'm looking so much forward to this wonderful set of panelists today to kind of demystify that career planning. And I'm so looking forward to learn along with all of you. Let me introduce the first panelist to you. Mala Hemnani is an ICF certified coach and mentor, currently based out in Bombay. She specializes as a speaking coach, cross culture coach, executive life coach, and human wisdom coach. She helps to bring leadership and shift in behavior for managers and emerging leaders, especially shaping high potential women to leadership. Her own journey pushed her to find her voice, speak with confidence, speak up. A love for improvement moved her to embrace ongoing learning and growth. She has been in the fashion retail business, been in traveling some 9 countries, what I understand, and she now helps professionals come into their own, identify what is holding them back from achieving their dreams and overcoming these limitations. It's great to have you, Mala. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Sunny, for that introduction, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. So yes, traveled 9 countries. Actually, I've lived in 9 different countries across continents, and very happy to be here. Yes,
Our
yeah.
second panelist for today, and our eminent speaker, Samir Apte. He's a business leader with over 24 years of experience across India and Asia Pacific region. He has extensive leadership experience in strategy planning, sales management, channel management, analytics, particularly in IT and healthcare sector. And he has worked in companies like Cisco, Philips, Godrej, where I also was, Ingram, Allergen. He also calls Samir 2.0 because since 2018, that's what he has been doing, where he's a master career mentor and trainer, helping people in career development coaching and as an expert mentoring students in their early and mid-career senior professionals through focused career planning sessions. He's also a soft skill trainer, a social volunteer, and a teacher. Welcome, Samir.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sunny. Hi, Mala, and looking forward to a really exciting and interactive session ahead.
Likewise.
Great. Thank you. Welcome again, both of you. The session is structured really from an inside outside perspective on this career planning perspective. And the inside part, I'll ask Mala to take up because she's a coach, and the outside with Samir's exposure and mentoring and the career planning part from the external point, what really people go through in terms of their career planning, just to try and demystify it. So I'm really looking forward to this balance in terms of both the inside and the outside world. And also we will have a live demo session, so not just listening, but we'll have a volunteer coachee Bhavna who will come in, and along with Mala we'll have a 20-minute session during in between. Towards the end, towards the 15-minute, I'll take whatever questions you are posing in so that I can use them to ask both our panelists and get some insights more further to what really is bothering you or your understanding to make it better. Okay, so I'll start with you, Mala, first. What would you like to say in terms of this topic itself, demystifying career planning, and especially from the point of view of the challenge which people are facing in today's world?
So as you rightly said, Sunny, it's an inside outside journey. And as students set out to choose their careers, to pave their path forward, they move in from a somewhat protective environment into more of an open outside, I'm out in the world now. And it's exciting. But very often this excitement soon turns out into a sense of I'm overwhelmed. And there are certain challenges then that students face. And these could be when they start to question, like, what do I really want? Is this what I really want? Will I be successful? Is it right for me? Is it who I am? Is it what drives me? Will I be happy here? And there are also additional pressures. There's family pressure or peer pressure. There is a self-doubt that creeps in, and also a fear of maybe not matching up and failure. Now, what happens with this is it actually creates some sort of a career anxiety, indecisiveness, and confusion with the whole host of options and suggestions that are out there. And that's when we need to really look at what else is there. Is it as simple as just going out and really just making a decision, or is there something more? So the challenges they face are the ones I have just mentioned. And what coaching does here, if I can say, Sunny, is that it helps students look at what really drives them. What are their personal goals? What giving them a little more direction and clarity on that direction. So it's the journey starts from within. It's when you start to sort of reflect. So coaching will help that mind, the young mind, to become more aware, gain some sort of insights, reflect, get some better understanding, and start exploring through this very thought-provoking journey. And then we address, right, so what really is standing in the way of you making that choice, choosing something that you think you're going to be happy with, that works for you, and identifying those obstacles and how we actually overcome them.
Thank you for that insight of that, the feeling part, like that overwhelming response which people are getting, or they kind of understand themselves, oh, why am I feeling this, versus what I'm feeling inside and what is going on outside. But at what point do you think that people should then look for maybe like a help, if not a coach, then who, and find that right coach? So if you could touch on when should that person start looking for it, in what stage of the career, and then what is that help they need to look at?
So yes, Sunny, the thing is that in my experience, when I have worked with students, I find that often they come when the pain point is quite high already. So in some cases, choices have already been made and career paths have been chosen. And sooner rather than later, one starts to question, is this right for me? I'm not happy. And you've already started the journey and chosen. And then you have to go back to say, look, do I want to change what I'm doing? Do I want to look at other careers, look at other options that are out there? In the meantime, what happens is there's a sense of, a slight loss of confidence. Maybe you're slightly demotivated because you went in with all these expectations. So really, to answer the question, when? I would say as soon as you think that you are going to, you're going to get out and going to look for a career. Before you start, the moment you start thinking, right, this is where I'm at my life right now, this is where I am, and I'm going to be looking at a career 6 months down the line, 3 months down the line. And I think that would be a good time to actually come in.
So as we are kind of evolving into this future looking, and the future is rapidly changing, and my question is again on this, as I'm looking at this journey ahead, in terms of now I'm looking for my career, I need to kind of find somebody. How do I make sure that who's the right person? Is it a coach? Is it a consultant I need to look at? And who can really help me to mix and match both, not just me, but the opportunities which are available? So is that person supposed to be a subject matter expert? So just throw on light of this person who I look up to, who can really help me understand myself better, but at the same time, it's not going anywhere out, but really being meaningful to the opportunities available.
Right. So the coach does the inside work, figuring out what you really want, what drives you, what are your long-term plans, what are your passions, what are your motivators, what is it that, what's coming in the way of you making a choice just immediately, what's coming in the way of, many students are torn, this is what my family wants me to do, but this is what I want to do, this is where the money is, but this is where my passion is. So really deep diving a little bit more into that is what the coach would do. The consultant would come in as taking it forward after that. So a consultant very much, and Samir, if you'd like to come in here, but a consultant would sort of then take it forward and put that into action. So we would do the inner work. And, you know, the thing about what I want to say is the inner work is really is more when it's coming from you. So a coach is not a therapist, not a consultant, not a mentor, not an advisor, not a teacher. A coach is someone who partners with you. So it's different. It's someone who's actually on your level, there for you, to understand you, to help you get on that journey in a coaching conversation. And through that coaching conversation is when you look at, you know, what else do I need to see? What is really coming in the way? And deep diving a little bit more. And then from there, it moves into, okay, fine, this is what I've decided. This is pretty much what I want. These are my priorities. And then we move on to consultant, right, Samir?
Absolutely. I think I would just summarize it in one line. So coaching is all about the what, and it is about the awareness, and it is about the discovery. The consulting is going to be more about the how, and really it is about putting that together in one continuum as one story, so that we can get the right answers that we want.
You know, I hear both of you. So it's, for me, it's coming out something like putting your house in order and then going out of the house to buy groceries or do whatever you want to do. And, you know, since you have come in, Samir, I want to now give you the podium. So, you know, I know that you have a presentation right now, and we want to spend some time in understanding or demystifying the career planning from that perspective of what you want to bring out. And then, you know, we'll have the demo with Mala, really looking at how with a person we see that coaching or that inner work going on. But for now, Samir, the stage is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Sunny, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Okay, so guys, I want to keep it very simple. As the topic is demystifying, let us basically avoid all jargons and keep it absolutely simple, okay? And the next 10 minutes, I actually want to talk about more of common sense than anything else. And I want all of you in the room to, put on a hat of a student or a young adult, and just look at it from that angle. Of course, you can also look at it as a coach, and you can look at it as a coachee as well. And what I'll try and do in the next 7 to 8 minutes is try and give you a little bit of pointers that will help us simplify this entire process of career planning. So really, we've been talking about the inward and the outward, right? And let's just look at what this means really. Career planning primarily is in two parts, as we have heard now. Unless and until you have clarity on both of these elements, career planning will seem to be very complicated. So these two parts, the inward focused part, which is something that coaching really addresses really well, coaching and mentoring, it is all about understanding yourself or discovering yourself. Like Mala said, what are my interests, my dreams, my identity, as well as, of course, parental expectations, peer pressure, change readiness, a lot of other exciting stuff there. But it's all about discovering what is within a person. But at the same time, you also need to look at what is happening outside. What kind of careers are there outside? What careers are relevant for you? What are the growth prospects? What kind of futuristic or future ready careers are there? What are sunrise industries? And a lot more. Because, guys, everything is changing extremely rapidly. What was relevant 6 months back suddenly seems to have changed a little in the last 6 months. Pre-COVID and post-COVID, of course, has created a big change in the way everyone is looking at careers, and more importantly, career planning and career transitions. If you really think about it, how many of us in this room have had our careers by chance and not by choice? I would love for you to be honest and put it in the chat if you had your career by chance, by luck. Ho gaya. Didn't really plan too much, just happened that way. And how many of us actually really sat down and did a career by choice? We come from a generation, I am 50 now, so I come from a generation where information was rare. We didn't really have any information. Everyone was trying to ask, hey, what about this? What about that? The scenario today is that there is too much information and overload. So today it is all about prioritizing, simplifying. And if we are not able to prioritize, shortlist, and simplify, the information overload can 100% confuse the hell out of anybody. Whether it is a 15-year-old student, whether it is a 25-year-old young person, or even a mid-career person who's in his 40s. But really, the focus today is all about the young adults in this particular session. So let's just look at how they need to look at the evolving landscape. I'm just taking an example of engineering, right? Engineering 20, 25 years back versus engineering now versus engineering in future. And suddenly see that not only are the words changing, but everything is getting more and more granular. Everything is getting very specific. There was a time when everyone used to talk about mechanical, electrical, electronics. But now it started getting into aerospace and genetics and whatnot. But tomorrow it's going to be even more, geophysical, etc., informatics. So while the education landscape is changing, of course, as young people today, we need to be mindful of that in terms of what's happening outside. Our parents, of course, will talk about the language which was there 20 years back, but we need to talk about the language today. And more importantly, we need to talk about the language after 7 to 8 years or after 10 years. So as the education landscape is evolving at a very, very rapid pace, it is really important for us to connect the two worlds. So let me give you an example here, right? Everyone who hears about robotics would know that what kind of education is required to get into robotics. Let's take just an example of robotics, right? And of course, like robotics, any other line today, right? So in robotics, if you really look at what kind of education is required to get into robotics, you have computer engineers who go there and program. You have electronic engineers who actually build the circuitry along with electrical engineers. You have mechanical engineers who actually design the robots. You have mechatronics experts who are really looking at a combination of designing as well as building. You have UX designers who are actually building robots with a certain look and feel. You have robotics engineers who are looking at specific areas of robotics. You have machine learning specialists and whatnot. Now, all the non-techie guys in the room are going to say, "Oh my God, jargon," right? But not really. What I'm trying to say here is that there are different ways in which you can get into robotics, and a lot of people would focus on that. What do I want to become when I grow up? I want to become an engineer. I want to get in the field of robotics. Hey, but the important question is, what will you do in that field of robotics? With what kind of robots would you be working? What would be your specialty? What would be your industry? And what would be the application? So on the right hand side here is that entire world of work of robotics, and each one of those areas, as an AI specialist, as a UX designer, as a developer, etc., has a different role to play. Why am I telling you all of this? As a person, a young person who's currently studying, a student, not enough to say I want to do engineering or I want to do computer engineering, but what is more important is to be able to connect the dots between what he or she is currently studying in to what he or she is going to work on. And if you are able to connect between the world of education and the world of work, I would say that is a fantastic start. So let me just try and give you a few pointers in terms of what kind of decisions will happen at every stage in the in the career decision making. So as you can see, I've just taken an example from grade 8 in school, 9, grade 10, grade 12, undergraduates, postgraduates. At each stage, decisions have to be taken. And these decisions are extremely important because these decisions will help you go to the next level. Now, again, as a career consultant, which is what I do, I've worked with hundreds of young people, trying to make them understand that connect between the inner focus and the external or outward looking planning. And these are questions that if they are able to answer correctly, sitting there in grade 8, and a coach, a mentor, or a consultant, whoever is helping them work on these questions, they would be a little more clearer as they start looking at their career decisions. And of course, the world of work is waiting in terms of what kind of industry, what kind of organizations, locations, departments, roles, career graphs, and expected returns. So I'm going to leave this thought with you, just last two slides, because I know we are a little running out of time. I want you to think about this, and I'm going to answer these in questions towards the end. But I'm going to ask you a very basic questions. We study for about 18 years of our lives, right? From age 5 to age 23. And we look to work for 40 years plus. How do we connect the two together? What do we solve for? World of education, world of work, are they connected to each other? What drives what? I'll be happy to discuss in our Q&A, but think about these two words, the world of education and the world of work. Know your strengths, which is the inward thing that Mala talked about. Fix a career destination based on what I showed you, in terms of the world of work, what kind of work, in which area, what kind of role, what kind of skills. Put the two together to have a career destination. Find out the right aligned career path that would take you towards your career goal in the best possible way. So, of course, you have to fix your education path accordingly. And most importantly, there has to be a career development plan as you move forward in this journey. So, in summary, hand it over to Sunny. Career planning, of course, very critical. Identify the career destination, which is the first step towards effective career planning. Find your unique strengths so that you know what kind of work would be suitable for you. If a young person doesn't know, please take help. Please take help from people who can help you on that. Understand the futuristic careers, understand the readiness required to be successful in these careers. And most importantly, create a plan, which is a development plan in which you are needed to upskill and recalibrate to align to the futuristic careers. So with that, I'm just going to pause here because I know an exciting demonstration is awaiting us. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Sunny, over to you again. I would love to take questions in the last part, where I would certainly address some of these things a little more in detail. Over to you, Sunny.
Thank you, Samir. A lot of questions coming to my mind already. And if you see the comments, people were trying to put what is this choice which led them to come. It's kind of a split. Like people came through their career through choice, some by chance. There's Sanjeev Bhatia says initially by choice, chance, and then by choice. I think we'll have this variation going on, but for now, keep coming. Put your questions through across, which we'll do immediately after this demo session. And for that, I am going to ask Mala to step in, who's our coach for today, and do this demo with a volunteer coachee. Her name is Bhavna. So, Samir, I'm just going to take you out from this screen and add Bhavna. Hi, Bhavna. Just for introduction, briefly, Bhavna is in her 20s right now. Thank you so much, Bhavna, for volunteering to be a coachee. And without taking any due course of time, this is a 20-minute kind of a demonstration. And Mala, I'll leave this stage to you and Bhavna now both. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. Hi, Bhavna. How are you?
I'm good, Mala.
Good. So, what would you like to explore, Bhavna, today in the 20 minutes that we have?
Yeah. So I have this dilemma in mind to choose a career path. So right now, what I'm working on, so my educational background was something else, and what I'm working currently at is completely different thing. So to have a fixed career path, I am unsure whether to apply in the area of my educational background or on the basis of my skills that I have learned in my current job. So that is the clarity that I am looking forward to in this session.
Okay. So what you're looking at is whether do I apply in the area of where I've got qualifications or where I have got a certain kind of experience. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
So what would actually help you make that decision? What do you need to focus on or explore?
Um, so, uh, uh, so, so what I feel is that whatever career path that I'll choose, uh, whether it will give me, whether it has a, whether it will give me financial independence, good financial independence. Second, more confidence, and a fixed career path, which has, that career path has the opportunity of growth in the coming time, and it should be a fixed one. I don't want to now again don't want to change it.
So can you tell me what you mean by fixed?
So I was a CA student. So for 4 years I was into it, and then suddenly I stopped enjoying it, and not being able to clear my exams. And for 4 years I was completely into it and not any other thing. So dropping it after 4 years took a toll over my mental health. So now I want that if I enter into something, it should be for a longer period of time, and I should not get back into that same zone. Like after getting into it, then again saying that I'm not enjoying it, and then again leaving it, then again at that crossroad, that where to start from again. So I don't want to get into that phase again. That is why that is giving me a lot of stress, I can say.
Yeah. So Bhavva, what needs to happen for you to feel this is fixed?
Give me a minute.
Sure, take your time.
Um, if at the beginning of making that decision, I'm able to feel that joy from within, and I'm able to see in my mind, uh, myself successful. So that will be an inner feeling, that inner feeling of confidence, and also whether by taking that decision, whether just by thinking about it, I'm feeling happy or not. So I think that might help me in taking the decision.
All right. So you've mentioned joy, inner feeling, which would help you think this is probably fixed.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Okay. So how does that tie in with what you initially said, that I'm trying to choose between something that is qualifications versus what I'm actually doing right now? Where does the joy come in?
Um, so this aspect of joy, I feel that while working in that particular sector, I am feeling confident of my own capabilities, and I am not, while I'm working on something, I'm not being, I'm not looking down on my own self that this I am not unable to do. So I want to feel that kind of joy that yes, I am capable of doing this particular job, and I am not less than anybody.
Yeah.
So I think that feeling of confidence
Okay.
will
All
make
right.
me feel joyful.
So tell me, what does confidence mean to you?
Uh, Believing in my own potential,
Mm.
and also in society also I'm able to bring out my own personality uh, amongst the people, and not being looked down upon by others.
Right. Okay. Any other thoughts, Bhavna? What are you thinking right now?
also that confidence that whatever I am working, money is one major aspect. So that makes me financially independent, and I'm really able to support my desires and my family. So that kind of income also, if I'm able to generate, that will also add to a lot of confidence in my own life.
So you have put confidence down as knowing your potential. Knowing your potential, your personality, and you've also talked about money. So where are your thoughts right now as we have explored all these different aspects? We have talked about qualifications versus experience. We've talked about joy and inner feeling. You've defined confidence, potential, and also personality, and finally money. What are your thoughts right now?
So my thoughts are directed towards getting clarity between taking up a career path between my qualifications and my expertise, and money revolving around what will be the money aspect, whether I'll be able to generate that amount of income that I desire for. So these two things are going in my mind. And I also
Okay.
feel that once I get into the job, then I might be able to have more confidence. So confidence will just not come by just sitting at home.
Okay. All right. So then what do you need right now to make that decision? Because you've talked about potential and you've also talked about confidence coming in. So what would help you make that decision today?
I think so. One for sure, money aspect, how much I'll be able to earn. Second, the career path that I choose has the potential of growth in the longer period of time, not just which is not like so much fluctuating. So I need a fixed thing.
Okay. So you said earlier fixed was more like something that you feel what you would enjoy. So it would be fixed, correct?
So not in that terms. I'm saying like so. So the industry that I'm talking about, so the industry that I get into has the potential of growth in the longer period of time, and not just get into any certain like industry which closes down after few years and has no growth potential. So that is also there in my mind.
Okay. So let's just focus a little bit on the money angle because you've mentioned that a couple of times. What do you want to tell me about that? What are your thoughts on where both these options are concerned?
I'm 25 years old, and till now I am not financially stable, though I am earning, but I am still dependent on my parents. So by now, I really feel like seeing my peers, my friends, and so who are earning a lot more than me, and I'm not even earning that much that I'm able to maybe like take a hold of my own life and my own expenses. I still have to rely on my parents. So and so my first purpose is to become financially stable myself and also support my family. Right now, I am taking support from them.
Okay.
So at the age of 25, I really feel that my parents have really invested in me, and now is the time for me to give them that sort of returns that I'm not able to give them.
So, Bhavna, which you've got two options in front of you. Where do you see the money?
Uh, uh, Both areas, I feel that there is money.
Okay. All right. Where is the joy?
So I am already at one thing and I feel joyful while working there. I have not worked in the other sector. So I am not very sure that whether that will give me joy or not because I have not tried it only.
Is your joy in the area where you said you've got qualifications, or in the career that you have have experience? You have two careers, right? You said one has got qualifications. So where's your joy? You said it's currently in what you're doing right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I compare it with my qualification, so I was not like so joyful while studying whatever I was like doing few years back. So I was not very enthusiastic or very joyful about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was neutral feeling.
Okay. So you mentioned you've got joy here in what you're doing now. You think money can be in both. You think confidence can come. And you feel that potential, you could have the potential. So what is really coming in the way of you making a decision?
Maybe it's it's the inner courage that I'm lacking to start applying. And I think these are all might be the reasons that I'm trying to give. Okay, this is the reason for you not to apply. I think there is lack of courage uh, to apply, and so I think I have become little complacent,
Mm-hmm.
being happy with just what I have, but not looking at the growth perspective. So there is not inner motivation is not coming to search, to research, to apply. So that is not coming from within.
So where would you like to be?
So can you reframe this question?
Yeah, yes, of course. So you say right now you don't feel the courage, you feel demotivation, you feel like, you've become complacent. That's where you are right now. Where do you want to see yourself, or how do you want to see yourself?
I want to see myself like where I'm completely confident. I am shining. I'm blooming. Um, uh, Making my own space in the society. Very very successful. Also very very busy, and also uh, earning as much as I want, and also being able to have that life and work balance,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and especially good mental health.
Okay. Great. Yes, you're smiling now. So it seems to me that you have sort of identified where your joy is. Is that correct?
Not 100% till now. I am little confused as to like 100% where my true joy lies.
Okay. So you mentioned courage when I asked you what is coming in the way. Is there anything else that is not making you 100% sure?
Courage and also what others will think.
Okay. Right. How would you address that? Or what do you want to do about it?
I just don't want to get like bothered about like what others will say, but I'm not able to control my mind because like till now what I was studying, and like till now if people ask me that you were studying this particular course, is it complete? And even though I have left it, but still I don't get that courage to tell them yes I have left it. I'm like okay, I'm continuing with it. I'll let you know whenever it gets completed. So uh, it does like matters to me till now. It even though like it has reduced
Mm-hmm.
that what people will say, that thought. But till now, somewhere it bothers me. So I feel ki, what will people say if I take up this particular job or get into this industry? That is there in my mind.
And do you think that is the obstacle to you making a decision, the courage and what people will say?
What people will say, maybe 30% of not being able to take a decision.
So what would you want to do about that?
I want to master my own mind and not get bothered about it. I don't know how to master my mind.
Yeah. You've mastered pretty well up to now. You've had a lot of insights. Any other thoughts on how you would want to master that? That's what's coming in the way, and that's what you want to master.
And also there is one more thing, that the moment I think about that, now I'll have to start searching about jobs, and like I'll have to learn a lot, think a lot, research a lot before applying. It becomes a cluster in my mind, and I feel like it's too complicated, and Bhama, you won't be able to do that. uh, I know that we don't get things on platter, like life is not that very easy, but still it brings a lot of cluster in my mind, by the thought of कि अभी apply करना है, अभी देखना है, getting. So I feel that it will require a lot of time, lot of energy, and I feel that I lack that.
Yes. So tell me, Bhavna, what are your thoughts right now? We have just about 3 minutes to go. What could you do or take action on that would help you address this, what you've mentioned about my own mind and courage, if that is what you want to address?
Think less and just get into it.
Okay.
That's what coming in my mind, that without like thinking much, just give it a try, and then what happens, and then let me see.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I can see it on your face. So what action would you take? Like what can you, is there anything you would like to commit to doing for yourself? You've said thinking less and getting it done. What can you commit to?
So with the other panelists, who showed us the PPT. So
Yes.
So I've noted down a point to be able to connect. To be able to connect my own strengths with what I want to do. So
Right.
maybe I will sit today itself and try and connect my strengths, and try to see where I can, in which area, which job I can apply, and then by this weekend I should start.
Okay. All right. And the thinking less? Any tool, technique, anything, any way I can support you here?
Right now, nothing is coming into my mind, but I think meditating might help. It has helped earlier also, but I think meditating, like taking it up seriously on a daily basis, might help.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. So, Bhavna, we're at the end of our call now. What would you like to say, share? Are you happy to we've gone from you going into these two areas of qualification and experience, and you want that joy, confidence, potential. We talked about society, and you finally came, and also money, and you said that is all possible, and you came down to this is where my joy is, and it's actually the courage I need. and I want to also just go out and get things done because I'm a bit complacent. And you've come to now putting certain 2 action steps in, which is for your mind, the meditation, and and for the getting in touch with a consultant to actually start the ball rolling and get things done. Anything you want to say before we close the session? And are you okay to close the session now?
Yes, I'm okay. And first of all, feeling very light from within and very happy. Uh, Second, understanding that I have developed through this session is that I'm just trying to give reasons to myself, and everything is coming from within. I'm trying to say education and qualification and expertise. I think these are all feelings that is within me and I'm manifesting in my environment. I think something has to change within me, then only my external circumstances will change. Like you ask na, what do you want to do? And counter questioning. So it is all about me. It is me versus me and not me
Yes.
versus anyone else.
Yes. Very well said. Very well said. And that's another great insight, Bhavna. So thank you so much. And thank you for being here. I absolutely enjoyed the session with you. And hope to keep in touch.
Much.
Yeah. Thank you, Bhavna, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna. I'll just put you back stage and bring up Samir. Mala, first, I would like to acknowledge you for a masterful coaching session. And I think being a coach, and I'm sure there are so many coaches who are watching this, I think the joy of seeing the client with those shift in behavior is much more meaningful and like a learning to yourself. So thank you, Mala, for what you do. And thank you
Pleasure.
all the other coaches as well. I'll quickly move to the question answers. There are things pouring in. One of the first questions here, which is with Anubha Gupta, who has asked, and something which came up even in the demo, what to choose, money or passion, which is the big dilemma. And since Mala, you have just shown a demo, I'll just briefly pause over there for you to kind of come back to it and then go to the other side of it. Samir, if you would like to take up this question, passion or money, the big dilemma, what to choose?
Yeah. So as all of us Indians are, I think we know this one word called vasuli, right? To squeeze the last drop. I think money and passion can go together. So the first thing in your mind, it has to be very clear: is it possible for money and passion to go together? If you in your mind say ki nahi, it's not possible, these are two different things, that is a wrong start. So let me just say that money should be an outcome. Outcome of what? Outcome of the value that you put in. Why would anybody give you 1 rupee or 100 rupees or 1 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees? It is connected to the value you get onto the table. If you are able to figure out how can you command that value, what gets you that value, that is a good start. And it again goes back to the fact that if it is connected to the kind of strengths you have as a person, if it is connected to the kind of passion that you really have, you are able to connect the dots together, that would be the best possible thing. I belong to a generation where we thought money and passion are two different baskets. They cannot be merged. Believe me, my friends, when I say this today, there are so many careers out there where you can actually translate your passion into a really high rewarding career. One of the things, Sunny, which is very important is always we ask the question, and Bhavna was also saying this, uh, that industry where I can make more money, that industry which has more growth. If somebody is asked, kaun sa career acha hai? We will always point to a industry, a particular area. The question to ask is not which industry is the best. The question to ask is, in which industry will I be at my best? In which industry will I be at my best? I would be my best version. And that can only come from understanding your strengths, understanding how you can apply your strengths. And if you can do that while enjoying the whole work that you do, money and passion comes together. I hope I'm able to answer it a little bit. Of course, it's a difficult question.
If I can just add three words to this, and that is money follows joy. It's something that I tell everyone to live by.
Awesome. I think both how practically Samir has put it, that you kind of will, it's not a question of or, but how to get it. And Mala, you summing up beautifully that, you know, you get yourself in order and then the joy is there and the money will follow. So thank you for that. But I'll come to a very interesting question. It was one of the comments and a personal dilemma for me. You know, things are moving, life happens, new career choices spring up. I evolve as a human being. How do I address this constant changing? You know, we call about the VUCA, or yesterday in one talk we heard the e-VUCA world, like it's always changing. How do you address this understanding of yourself, also the outer side? So I want both your perspective, so that in constant changing world, how do I match my own interest and also the career choices which are available to be at peace and at the same time make both joy and money?
So, so as you mentioned, VUCA. In fact, I just did a training where from VUCA, we've gone into Barney, which is the brittle, anxiousness, non-linear, and incomprehensibility. But then we've gone to RAAT. RAAT is actually RAET. So really, resilience, adaptability, attention, and transparency. I think there's no doubt change is going to happen. And we can take what we have. Nothing is lost and nothing is wasted. So it's about taking what you have and moving along with it and adding to the bucket. And this is the way I see it. So I don't see it as two separate things. I see it as adaptation. And you can still keep your passions. You can still keep a lot of what you also do. And we saw people doing this during the pandemic. There were so many businesses that actually had to switch their whole model overnight. And it was almost like they were getting into a completely different kind of job or career. But they managed to keep the essence of what they're doing. And that's why that, again, it comes up with that inward journey, because it's not just the outward. You keep the essence of what you're doing that's connected to yourself, and then it's just easier to move and adapt. That's my 2 cents on it. Samir, if you want to say anything.
Yeah, no, very nicely put, Mala. So let me address the practical angle of this, right? Bhavna talked about the finance industry and the fact that she has been a CA student. All of us know now that the buzzwords in finance today are fintech and cryptocurrency and all kinds of things. None of us were born with this, my friends, right? And yet all of us are reading about these today. What is important is to understand that as the VUCA world progresses and with the new acronyms that come up now, some of the basic skills will still remain. Analysis was always a skill that a finance guy needed to have 10 years back, today, as well as 10 years later. The applications will change. What are you analyzing? Where are you analyzing? How are you analyzing? But if my core strength is analysis, I should be able to put together something that is forward looking. Analysis in finance meant analyzing taxes 10 years back. Analysis in finance today is really about understanding the portfolios, the investments, and a lot of other things that are more forward looking. Analysis tomorrow could be in the area of big data, analytics, AI, or fintech. If you are able to understand and identify that as the core skill or the core strength, upskill yourself with certain courses that are available in the market today, which are affordable, which are something that can be easily doable in alignment with your strengths and passion. That is how you upskill. So in one of my slides, I did say it is about upskill, it is about recalibrate. And each one of us, whether we are 25 years old, we are 35, 45, or 55, will have to do this. And we are doing this every day with the mobile phones that we use, every day with the digital content that we consume. So if we are changing in all of these areas, remember, get it down to a level of base level skills and build the application on top. I hope that makes sense.
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that, looking at your strengths and then those core skills and then readaptability to what is going on in the world. The next question I'm going to take off Sarvajot Hansrao, and this is to Mala because he asked, is it correct to push young adults to coaching conversations? That's the question, and I'm going to just add one flavor. What allows one to have these kind of conversations, And Mala, from a perspective of young adults, please address.
So I don't think so. First of all, in fact, this brings me back as I'm answering this question that Sunny, earlier on, you had asked a question that does a coach have to be an expert and how do you choose the right coach? And I think I didn't answer that at that time. But it sort of connects with this, that you never push a student into coaching. So what we do is it's all about the student, it's all about what they want, it's all about their decision, their choices. And in fact, before a coaching journey actually starts, we do something called a chemistry call. And that is just for the student to decide whether I can connect with this person. Do I think I have some sort of rapport? Because coaching is all about trust and respect and non-judgment and being on that same level. So it is when students come to us, even when parents come to me, and this is me, when parents come to me, so we want our children to be coached, I say if the student wants. And I always do a chemistry call with the student, because so if I've understood the question correctly, it's saying, is it right to push students into coaching? So coaching as it's understood, as in, coaching in conversations, I don't think it's even possible to actually achieve anything by pushing, because the answers have to come really from within. And there is an openness that comes out. It's really a conversation where you're just having someone listen to you, ask you questions, and help you to think through.
Awesome.
So I hope that answers the question.
No, it does for me at least, that you will not achieve anything even if you're pushing. And I'll bring up the last question in the interest of time. And to you, Samir, there's a lot of push from the society itself. And let's take the parents as the first people who are really looking forward or in the best interest of the child. And then there are these peers, these uncle and aunts, especially in India, who are experienced, who have really done well in their successful careers and really advising and mentoring. How do you look that as the push? And what do you say about the individual looking at those inputs and then taking a call with respect to demystifying the career planning?
Yeah, great question and a practical one. I think all of us face that every single day, right? Not just students. Always we are surrounded by voices. I think it is very important to listen to all the voices. I think as people, it is very important to keep our ears open, because we get to know a lot of things from the voices around. But then within us, there needs to be a mechanism of filtering. And that mechanism of filtering has to be a mechanism where, again, we put it in the formula that we created for ourselves. Let me just combine everything we heard today. The formula involves inner or inward looking discovery. The formula involves joy, as Mala rightly put it. The formula involves using your own strengths or aligning to your own strengths. The formula does involve connecting the world of education to the world of work. The formula involves putting money and passion together in a way that makes sense. And believe me, all of these are going to be very individual to each person. They cannot work for everyone. What works for you will not work for me. As long as every person understands what works for them, puts this together, and is able to show their parents. Now, parents are not certainly not enemies, right? Parents also want the best of the child. But I think what is important is to get everyone on the same page. One of the things that I have realized, I do a lot of mentoring with parents and kids together. Everyone is saying the same thing. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants progress. Everyone wants stability, and everyone wants growth. Parents say it, the student says it, everyone. I think if you are able to just connect the dots to a level where it becomes very simple. So let me put it in a way that makes sense. Do we want to get to this destination? Paisa, tarakki, so money, success, fame, popularity? Answers are yes, correct? What are the paths available to us? These are the 4 paths that are available to us. In which path will I be at my best? Which race do I want to participate in? Because I think I can be one of the top 3. If you're getting that answer of that, what you're actually doing is, yes, I want to get there. These are my options. But before I get to those options, what will it take in each one of these options? Does that align with my strengths? That does align with my interest? if I'm able to choose one of the options, what we are all saying is that I have not lost sight of the career goal or the destination, which is money, fame, popularity, success, joy, happiness. And I'm just connecting the dots that can take me right up to the eighth standard where I am today. My parents are looking at me, wanting me to choose the right subjects. If we can put it together in a way that can basically answer the questions, if I do this, this is where I reach. Bhavna asked a very important question, right? How do I figure this out? It seems to be a big task, and she said cluster in her mind, right? And I think that is what is the mystery and the complexity of it. If you are able to guide Bhavna by telling her, look, Bhavna, don't worry, it is very doable. These are the 4 or 5 things that you have to put together. I think it will not only demystify it for her, but she will be very happy and very confident to also talk about it to her parents and get them on the same page, because eventually every parent wants the child to be happy and successful and joyful. And so again, Sunny, the whole answer is connect the dots, put it together, use the inward, use the outward, and basically create a formula that is my special formula. It may not work for others, but it certainly will work for me. And I think that's my answer. Unique strength.
Thank you, Samir. For the time we have today, Mala, Samir, thank you so much. It has been enriching to understand even this short 60 minutes, some demystifying around career planning, both from an internal and outside perspective. I have a lot of takeaways, but I think connecting the dots, Samir, from you, don't ignore even your internal and external, and Mala from you, learning so much empathy towards the person. What I saw masterful was you were coaching the person and not really the problem of how we say that it's not about that, but and ultimately it's joy and money both, as Samir said. And thank you so much for the audience as well. But for this session, I hope some of your demystification has happened in your career planning. Joy to you all, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank you,
lot.
Samir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sunny.
Sunny.